What's up, everybody? I'm Clay, and I do want to say thank you guys for watching the video. Thank you for subscribing to the channel. Thank you for understanding that YouTube has now changed their cryptocurrency policy, and they are allowing general discussions about crypto, NFTs, and other digital assets. But because YouTube is now moderated essentially solely by AI, we've got to be as careful as possible. Please do not interpret this video to be anything other than a general discussion. It is not a promise, it's not a promotion, suggestion, recommendation, or guarantee of any kind. It's simply you and I talking about crypto, Shiba Inu coin, the news, and so on. So let's talk about it. And I'm actually excited about it right now. I've been accumulating cryptocurrency for a very long time now. And, it's hard to accumulate during periods of fear and extreme fear. But that's what I chose to do. So after a nice little bounce off of these lows, it feels good to finally see your portfolio rising. And I believe that we can continue to see Shiba Inu coin and the rest of our portfolios continue to rise despite futures open interest declining. Now, this article says that Shiba Inu coin investors have witnessed the negative turnaround of the futures market. Notably, Shiba Inu coin open interest entered the red zone today, fueling bearish sentiment for the meme coin's price. Shiba Inu coin open interest flips bearish. According to CoinGlass data, the SHIB open interest flipped negative over the last 24 hours, decreasing by 1.7%. Interesting though, because price action is rising over the last 24 hours. The drop in this metric signals a decline in futures market activity. Shiba Inu coin bulls are possibly exiting positions to hedge against potential risk of the market. It says the crypto market open interest refers to all the outstanding contracts for digital assets that have not been settled. For Shiba Inu coin, the 1.7% decline in this important metric shows growing uncertainty as market participants hesitate to bet on future actions. Now, let's break that down for a second, right? It doesn't necessarily mean that they believe Shiba Inu coin is going to decline. It doesn't necessarily mean that they believe the market is going to fall as a whole. It's uncertainty, okay? Futures are interesting, right? When somebody opens a leveraged contract position, it typically means that they're very certain which direction it's going to move. If they're closing those out or if they're not opening them at the same pace, it could simply mean that they don't know which direction it's going to move. And that all falls back down to this neutral territory, okay? It might not be as important for Bitcoin and Ethereum and maybe even XRP, some of the larger names out there. But when we're talking about speculative cryptocurrencies, low cap altcoins or meme coins, it is fueled by speculation and it is fueled by emotion. A level of 41 neutral territory is right on the brink of fearful territory. And it simply means investors are neutral. They don't know if prices are going to rise. They don't know if prices are going to fall. So, guys, I know I've been putting a lot of focus on this fear and greed index over the last couple of years, but until we get back into a situation of extreme greed, I don't expect extreme prices. But I do know that it works in a cyclical pattern, okay? You've got fear, you've got greed. Fear, greed, fear, greed, fear, greed. And every time prices rise and fall along with the sentiment. Search volume rises and falls along with the sentiment. We are essentially looking at the indicator that is telling you when Shiba Inu coin's price and when meme coin prices will be high and when they will be low. It's quantifiable emotion. Let's put it that way. You can go out there and you can see a number that represents emotions in the market. And with that, I believe it will rise as prices rise. And then it's almost like a spiral, right? As prices rise, the fear and greed index will rise. So it's a vicious cycle both ways. When prices fall, you've got the fear and greed index falling. When the fear and greed index falls, prices fall. When it rises, it's the same thing. And it really pushes prices dramatically higher when extreme greed does set in. Now it says, due to the declining momentum, investors committed about 11 trillion Shiba Inu tokens to the Shiba Inu coin futures market over the last day. In fiat terms, the 11 trillion SHIB amounted to $102 million based on the current market price. While the figure is substantial, it is still low compared to the previous levels. Just a few days ago, Shiba Inu coin open interest spiked 1.89% to 12 trillion SHIB across different exchange platforms. Generally, this development is a bullish sign, and it implies that more market participants might be motivated to accumulate SHIB, thereby creating futures demand. Now, with that, okay, it's heavily dependent on the overall price action as well. People are beyond emotional. When prices are rising, they become ecstatic very quickly. When prices are falling, they become pessimistic very quickly. So it is very emotion-based when we're talking about futures and leverage trading. So should SHIB investors be worried? No, absolutely not, guys. Let's see what they have to say. But no, I don't believe we should be worried about price action. There's some things that we could get worried about, right? You look at the Shibarium hack, you look at the team sort of disbanding and falling apart and running into the shadows and hiding and all of this stuff. If we begin to build up a reliance on them once again, hey, maybe Shiba Inu coin is doomed. But if Shiba Inu coin becomes the meme coin that it was meant to be, and it's the community that is excited about it and telling everybody about it, I don't think we have anything at all to worry about. Now, it says, in contrast, the sharp decline in Shiba Inu coin's open interest suggests that traders are closing short and long positions in preparation for future volatility. Typically, when OI, or open interest, plunges, the price of the asset usually falls alongside an anticipation of price volatility. However, this is not the current reaction of the Shiba Inu coin meme coin. In fact, the meme coin rallied more than 2% over the last 24 hours, currently sitting at 860, another time I'm recording, 882 points per coin, rising and rising fast here, so hopefully it does continue on. Importantly, the latest rally comes after Shiba Inu coin printed a mini golden cross, and this move quickly opened a 22% upside window to 1,054 points per coin for Shiba Inu coin after weeks of experiencing downtrends. Now, guys, despite all of the emotion in the market, I continue to accumulate.